Hi everybody, this is Sarah from Serenity. Today's video will be for Leo, the March 2021 forecast. This encompasses sun, moon, and rising sign. I will briefly go over the astrology for March and also then give you a full card reading. This obviously is my take on this information, and because of that, it will not resonate with everyone. And that's okay. If it doesn't resonate with you, no worries, just pass it on by. And I do hope you find what you're looking for. Today, I will be using the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and I will also draw an additional card from the Crystal Spirits Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid to show which crystal or stone would be the most beneficial for you to work with in the month. You can find more information about this deck and other videos in the description box below, and I've also added a timestamp in the description box. The astrology for March is actually pretty good. I'll put some important dates up here on the screen. The best news is we have absolutely no planets in retrograde in March 2021, so that's really nice. Coming out of February, you're in a much better place. But all of 2021 has been better for you than 2020 by a long shot. It's not perfect, but you can feel like you're moving in the right direction now. For most Leos, you're starting to get serious about your relationships. Not just your romantic relationships, but all your relationships. And you're looking back on maybe some previous relationships, whether with coworkers or romantic, and you're seeing the thread of how you've been connected to people and it has shaped and changed your life, both for the better and maybe not, but how these relationships have played out to get you to the point that you're at currently. Would you be the person you are now if you hadn't had those experiences? Probably not. The cosmos are encouraging us to embrace the fact, too, that not all relationships are meant to last forever. And that's okay, because inevitably we outgrow some people and some relationships, just like we outgrow jobs and houses. It's a lot to think about, but you've been doing that, Leo. You've been thinking deep thoughts and thinking about how the past is affecting the future. And this is really good. I mean, it will weigh on you as we begin March, but it's okay. The main thing to do is avoid acting impulsively. And while you may be tempted to make radical changes, don't just yet. It's better to come up with a longer, well thought out plan than just let the fire energy force you into making split-second decisions that you might regret later. It's also important to be aware of the anger brewing just below the surface and not take that out on people around you. Instead, find a positive outlet like exercise, do a hobby or a craft, do something positive, and resist the urge to self-soothe or self-medicate with maybe too much shopping or too much alcohol. So while that could be an issue, this is actually going to be a very fruitful month for you. Also, money will flow for you all month long, Leo. From March the 4th to the 19th are all very good days for your wealth sector. The money will flow in, and because of that, you may be tempted to really splurge on yourself and buy something maybe that's not in the budget. Hold off on that. I mean, get something for yourself, yes, but don't spend the entire bonus you get or the windfall that you get. It's important to save for the future. From March the 18th to April the 2nd, your ruling planet, the Sun, conjuncts Venus. The 26th is probably going to be another big important money day for you. This energy, though, is very harmonious for Leos, and it's going to bring in a big dose of peace and harmony in your life. And with the money coming in and things looking good for your career, a lot of the worry that you've been shouldering kind of lifts, and before you know it, you're feeling more social and you're feeling more optimistic and you're feeling much more like your old self. This is actually too one of the best times of the year for dating. Also, business dealings and negotiations should be very positive for you and should definitely end up working out for you. There's a lot of good stuff happening with the astrology. So let's shuffle the cards and see if they agree. 6 questions I'm going to be asking are, what are you bringing forward into the month? In other words, what energy from February will you start March with? Your biggest obstacle for the month, your biggest asset going into this new month, your home life, your love life, both single and partnered, and the outcome. In other words, if you stay on the current path that you're on right now, where will you be at the end of March? And then I will draw an additional card for the best crystal to work with. Let me shuffle really quickly and draw the first card. Oh, nice, nice. The Three of Pentacles, the Master Craftsman. This card pretty much signifies that you've been leveling up at work or at your profession, and you're being recognized for it. You have moved from novice to master. You're making better money. You're getting bonuses. People are recognizing you for this hard work. And this is a really good place to be because, yeah, Leo does work hard and usually is very successful if they can stay focused. And that's been a big key. But the last 2 months you have really been focused and you've really shouldered the weight or responsibility needed to get these projects out and to move ahead. You're starting to dream about the future, not just about traveling and what you're going to buy, but also where do you want to be? What's really important to you? For Leo, the lockdown has been both a blessing and a curse because Leos are very social and they love to be able to go and do and explore and see and have fun and visit. Unfortunately, Leos end up overwhelmed really easy because they just keep going and going and going, even though they know they should slow down. So this has forced you to slow down and take stock of your life. So this has been, like I say, both a blessing and a curse. And now you're starting to see light at the end of the tunnel. And you're making choices based on what you've learned about what's really important to you. And this recognition at work, the fact that the money is coming in, that you're pulling in a better wage, all of it just falls right in line with what you really want to do, what you really want to focus on. So this is a very good place for you to be coming into the month. So let me shuffle and we'll look at your biggest obstacle for the month. Okay, the devil. Well, if you're going to have an obstacle card, you might as well make it one of the biggest, right? This card represents not just malicious energy, but it also represents indulgence. Too much TV, too much sweets, binge watching, binge eating, spending too much money, overindulging in sex, overindulging in everything, and doing things that aren't in your highest good. Whether you're being influenced from outside sources or whether you're making the decision, either way, you will reap the consequences of your actions. Too much indulgence also leads to addiction, addictive personality traits, decisions that are self-sabotaging, all of that negative stuff that we actually do to ourselves. This is the time to really look at that and think about what actions, whether caused by you or someone else, are making you slack on your responsibility, or what self-soothing behaviors have you kind of let get out of control? A lot of people joke about drinking much more wine during lockdown. And it's funny until it becomes the truth and you find out that, yeah, you are drinking much more and you're drinking every day and you're drinking earlier in the day. Obviously, this is not a behavior you want to continue when you leave lockdown. The biggest obstacle for your month looks like getting your indulgences, whether that be, like I say, shopping too much, drinking too much, whatever, under control and owning them. And then working out a plan on how you're going to handle them. Because if it was just as easy as, no, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore, it wouldn't be a problem or an obstacle, would it? Be truthful and honest and look at your budget, look at your lifestyle, what needs to change, and then really work towards changing it this month. This is probably not something that you can fix in a week, but acknowledging there is a problem is where we begin. Not a surprising card, but a definite wake-up call. Okay, so let's shuffle and look at your biggest asset for the month of March. Eight of Wands inverted. When this card shows up right side up, the definition basically is you're moving along with no direction. But because it's inverted, it's a little bit different. This means you do have direction and you do have a plan. You're getting an idea of what you want to happen and you're no longer just going with the flow, aimlessly following along just whatever happens. Now you have an idea of what you want, and this is your biggest asset: getting clear with yourself, and then being clear so you can tell the universe what you want so it can bring it to you. Leos are very lucky. They're wonders at manifesting, but it doesn't always work, because when you're in confusion and you don't know what you want, the universe can't bring it to you. So that is going to be your biggest asset for the month: getting clear on what you really want, what direction you want to move forward into, and then making those declarations, telling the universe, doing things that will move you closer, making decisions that will move you closer to those ultimate goals instead of just floating along. That's a really, really good asset, and this can be a game changer actually for the rest of your life. This is going to be a really good month for you, and there's going to be opportunities that are going to be presented. Some of them are going to fit and they're going to move you closer, and some of them are kind of like wild goose chases. While it might be fun to do some of these things, it's kind of a distraction, or it's something that takes you away from that main goal. So just be aware of that. But like I say, understanding what you want is key. So that's really good, really positive. So let me shuffle. And the next card we'll draw will be for covering your home life for March. Okay, the Hermit. Pretty self-explanatory too, isn't it? You've pretty much felt like the Hermit the last 6 months. Not being able to go and do when you wanted to, and having to restrict your behaviors has left you feeling sometimes like a hermit. You can't engage with people, or you can't do the things you want to. But this card is about so much more than just a solitary lifestyle. This card is about seeking knowledge, seeking wisdom that you already have. The only way that we can really get clear, connect with our higher selves, and tap into that intuitive energy is by being quiet, by being still, by moving away from the constant ruckus and drama of other people, of constant stimulation, stepping into that stillness. When we step into that stillness and connect with our higher selves, our intuition comes forward, our higher self, our inner knowledge comes forward. We know what we need to do, we know why we need to do it, and we know what we really want. Your home life has been up and down, let's be honest, the last 6 months. There's been some good times and revelations, and there's been some bad times when you thought you were going crazy and climbing the walls and thought you really needed to get out. Coming out of that 6-month cycle, now here we are into March, and you have a better understanding of things that feed your soul, that give you that clarity, and things that are just distractions. So I think for the month, your social life is going to open up, especially as we go along in the month. By the 3rd week, you're going to be a lot more social. But I feel you're going to choose the activities that you engage in rather than just accepting every invitation like before. You're going to be much more selective in who you give your attention to, who you spend time with. Your family situation has calmed down a lot once you got clear on what you really wanted and once you started listening to your intuition. Things are better at home, and things are going to be, like I say, slow for probably the first 3 weeks. The last week of the month, yeah, you're going to be out there doing and going and having some social experiences, but they're going to be on your own terms. And I think this is going to make for a much better year for you. Okay, so let me shuffle, and the next one is your love life. And the card is the Emperor. So this, of course, is the male counterpart to the Empress. The Empress is all about fertility, growth, femininity, and he's all about structure, stability, and protection. A card about authority as well as practicality. For single Leos, this is pretty much the sign that you're looking for your perfect mate and you haven't been finding them. This type of energy requires someone to meet them where they are and to be capable, not a project, if that makes any sense. You're looking for a partner who is your equal, and you haven't been able to find one for various reasons. And in the past, you've kind of settled and you've gone with people and maybe gotten into entanglement type relationships with them, and it didn't work out. And instinctively, you knew that it wasn't going to, but either because you were bored or because you thought you would give them a chance, or for whatever reason, you went ahead with the relationship. The good news is all of that is behind you and you're not going to settle anymore. The bad news is you just haven't met anyone interesting. You've been looking online, you've been talking to people, and no one is really sparking your interest. Well, that will change at the end of March, and you're going to see a lot more happen in your social life in March and into April. Spoiler there. Just be patient, and once again, don't settle. You need someone who will be as strong as you are, but will not dominate you. Someone who is intelligent, but also kind and compassionate. So it's a tall order, but they're out there. And actually, they're moving closer and closer to you. I would say by the end of March, mid-April, you probably will encounter some new love interests. Partnered Leos, although the Emperor is a very serious man, usually without any true sense of romance, if this card appears in a love reading, it is still a very beneficial card. The Emperor means love is moving from that dreamy, over-the-top state to something more practical. When this card comes up in a love sector, we can see that you're moving out of the honeymoon phase and into the more long-term relationship. If that isn't happening yet, you can expect it soon. The other big thing to think about is if there's problems already in the honeymoon stage, they will continue to get worse as things become more mundane. So just be aware of that. Overall, though, this is a pretty good sign. I'm about to draw the last card. Well, we have a best stone for the month too. The next card will be where you will be at the end of the month if you stay on the path that you're on now. And that, of course, is always the thing with the tarot. It gives us an idea of what's coming, but also gives us the ability to change it, to make course corrections as needed. So nothing is ever written in stone. And all in all, it's a very good reading. So I mean, these are positive lessons. You're finally getting the compensation you deserve at work. You're moving forward with your projects. Obstacle for the month is not a big surprise. It's about indulgence and addiction and not taking care of yourself. So it's, not a big surprise there. Things are coming together for you. You're able to tap into your own inner wisdom. And yeah, this is a really good reading and a really good month for you. Let me pull the last card. Okay, the Magician inverted. So this is really interesting because the Magician is the best card of the deck. But inverted, it's not necessarily the worst card either. Generally, when we see it inverted like this, it means that you have all the tools you need, all of the information you need. You have everything you need to move forward, but for some reason, you're not accessing it. Whether it's an illusion around you, some sort of trickery, or a problem with maybe your self-confidence or self-esteem. You're just not trusting yourself. You're not allowing yourself to move forward and to use these skills. The question is, why are you ignoring your intuition and why are you second guessing yourself? And my guess would be it's probably something that's happened over the last 6 months. Someone has said something nasty to you, or there have been some upsets and you have been questioning your judgment. And that happens. It happens to all of us. But we move forward and get back on track by learning to trust ourselves. Admitting when we do make a mistake, owning it, and then learning from it. I think that overall this is going to be a very good month for you, and as you go through these challenges, you will see too that you do have all the wisdom, like the Hermit is trying to tell us. You just have to tap into it. So yeah, it's going to be a really good month for you, and I think you should take full advantage of it. So quickly, let me shuffle the last card, which is from the Crystal Oracle deck, and what stone should you use in the month of March? Oh, nice, nice. Moonstone. It is associated with the moon, of course, and water. It rules both the third eye and solar plex chakras. I think most people are familiar with rainbow moonstone because it gives off a rainbow hue, but there are many different types of moonstone. It's a really good stone for inner growth and strength, and it helps us soothe our emotional issues, whether that be stress or whether that may be grief. It helps us calm down. Moonstone enhances intuition as well and brings success and good fortune. And it is a stone for travelers. A lot of women use it for problems with conception, pregnancy, childbirth, or PMS. Moonstone is also beneficial for men for balancing the emotional self as well. It is a really good stone, and I think it would be beneficial for you to meditate with it and carry it with you or wear it as jewelry for the month. Okay, so overall, this is one of the best readings. I think this is going to be a fabulous month for you, Leo, and just be open to the energy, decide what you want, and then allow it to come to you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this little mini reading. If you would like to know more, you can always find me at Serenity. I'll put my information up here and of course below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, why not consider it? I have lots of new videos about to drop. Reiki blessings. Bye-bye.